uses the technique of spelling each letter and vowel in Indonesian before pronouncing it in its entirety. Using a traditional method that emphasizes the relationship between teacher and student strictly turns out to be a challenge in the eyes of a cleric as well as a trader named Asad Huma. In 1973, he then conducted a series of discussions with group members and tried teaching techniques for reading the Quran as well as new learning media. This was due to the increasing number of young people who were unable to read the Quran. The existing educational institutions at that time were unable to reduce the increase that occurred. And the old methods had to be perfected. Then a technique was developed that still focused on the relationship between teacher and student, but the teacher gave little instruction. Then, the teacher listens to the students reading passively. At least the teacher's instructions are due to the learning media used, namely the Iqro Book, which consists of 6 volumes. Each book introduces Arabic or Hijaiyah letters with difficulty levels from low to high. In addition, the law of recitation of tajwid, rules of waqf, sakta, and other laws of reading the Quran are also presented clearly and easily understood. The book also includes learning instructions, both at the beginning of the lesson and in the middle of the lesson. The instructions contained in the book make it easier for students to be able to study independently. The method of learning to read the Quran by using this Iqro book was very much appreciated by the community. Until finally the Yogyakarta DI Religious Service gave an award in 1988. In the 90s, this book was then released and sold all over the country. The proliferation of TPA or Al-Quran educational parks made this book sell well. Current developments since then. The use of the Iqro book as a learning medium in studying the Quran has begun to be applied in various TPAs, Islamic boarding schools, langar, surau, mosque, school, or homeschooling. The Iqro book, which is known to make it easy for students to increase their speed in learning to read the Quran, is not only circulating in Indonesia. It is noted that Malaysia also uses this book as a learning medium for students in learning to read the Quran. Even in 1994, Malaysia made it mandatory to use this book in elementary schools. If you are interested in buying this book, you can send a message in the comments column.